want to do it on the Wi-Fi?
It's going.
No, it's going.
We don't need the Wi-Fi. Hi! Hi, beautiful sisters. Welcome. So, first time I'm not by myself to start with. Yay! I've got a beautiful sister, Millie, here.
Hello.
Hi. So it's so nice to be joined in person. Hi, Yvonne. So yeah, just want to take a moment to come in to the space. Yeah, take a moment to acknowledge the traditional caretakers of the land that we gather on in whatever place on this beautiful planet we are right now. And just give gratitude for the care that has been taken and for the lessons that we can learn in taking better care of our mother who gives us all life. And just taking a moment to come into this space of sitting with your sisters, of connecting and sharing and being with our own experiences, and also learning and exploring and having our own experiences through the sharing of each other's experiences. Yes, so welcome. So today, as I've said, I've got the lovely Millie here, and we're going to be talking about integration.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's where we're going. Yeah, so, well, would you like to share a bit about yourself first?
Sure. Not a lot to say. Other than I'm Millie Letori. I work as a change and transformation manager in the evil city. Aside from that, I fancy myself as a bit of a shamanic practitioner.
Yeah.
You know, dabble
Little here and there.
Dabble a bit in the shamanic arts. Well, it's essentially changed my life, so I shouldn't mock it too much.
Yeah.
Just back from a trip to Peru, which was life-changing, life-affirming. And I have nothing to sell you. I have nothing to offer you other than myself and this conversation. So that's a relief.
Which is so much.
Bless
So
you.
much, and we're so grateful to have you here. So hello to all the sisters that are joining us now. Thank you. Okay, so let's do it. Integration. So tell me about your experiences. What integration, I guess, means for you.
Well, it's evolved in its meaning, and it's evolved in its meaning since I've come back from Peru. So for me, integration was always this sort of mystical thing that occurred after I went away on a shamanic retreat, or I went and did some deep work on myself. It was like, oh, now I need to integrate, and everyone used to talk about, oh, look out for the integration. So it kind of became this like slightly scary thing, which always felt mucky and dirty and like painful, and occurred after a retreat or a deep healing or a deep session. And I didn't really give it much more thought than that. Really, I thought it was just kind of, taking what I'd learned and integrating it into everyday life. And recently I've been thinking, as these things happen, you start thinking about a topic, and more and more starts coming to you. And I heard it was actually Brené Brown. I was listening to Saint Brené. I was listening to one of her books on the lovely Audible. Love Audible. If you can't be bothered to read and you want to like pick up some wisdom. Saint Brené was talking about integration, and she said that it actually came from the word integer. Like, I'm not a maths fan, so it wasn't top of my mind when I was thinking about integration. And the word integer means a whole number, or not a fraction. So a whole number. So integration means to become whole. Becoming whole. I was like, oh, that kind of felt big when I got that. I was like, well, okay, so integration now means to me something much bigger. And it means when I go away on these retreats, when I do these big sessions, when I have a big healing, the integration is another part of myself that's adding to, hopefully at some stage, probably not in this lifetime, to becoming whole. And it's how do I make space for this piece by letting go of a piece that's not mine? Or, you know, how do I slowly start to fill in this ball? Healing cracks in it, bringing new bits into it. Yeah, so it's kind of like that old saying, you know, singing the soul home. To me now, integration is about that process, bringing all of the bits of me through these different processes together. And thanks, Brené.
Once again, Brené.
But it kind of makes that, like, let's not beat around the bush here. The experience of integration ain't pretty. It's not fun. I've never sort of well, I have skipped home from retreats, but I've never skipped for longer than a few weeks before, you know, you get the kind of reality of having to integrate it. And I think this image now of the integer, the becoming whole, just gave something really nurturing to me about that process and made it kind of feel worthwhile.
Yeah, it is that I guess that experience of the retreat, the session, the healing, the whatever it is, like, can be incredibly powerful and this sort of intense energy, this intense process, shifting and everything. But it's kind of almost like that. It's only without the integration part, a lot of that is just kind of it's floating. It's kind of floating around. Whereas the pieces, the integration is where it starts to actually solidify in there,
cemented in or glued in, or however you want to, you know, melded into your whole. And like a broken bone or like a crack in something, it generally requires some sort of energy to fuse that bit in, and that doesn't necessarily feel comfortable, but you know, enough of this comfort. You know, none of us are walking this path expecting to feel comfortable every day. And just drop, you know, the other thing that I've realised recently, just drop the judgment of the discomfort. You know, it's just another sensation. It's just another thing. It'll be all right. But it can feel disconcerting. I think, you know, my experience of coming back from Peru, anyone that's been to Peru and come back or had a similar sort of big journey, I was there for a month and, you know, did medicine there, and the sort of integration that's required, particularly after sitting in ceremony with the medicine, that requires big integration, because so much shatters and so much space is, you know, you let go of so much. There's so much room to bring the new, the you, or, you know, let go of it so that you can emerge more fully. You know, we just need to create space and have patience and honour and take a blood. This is my favourite phrase. I say it to my clients at work. Take a breath. Take a bloody breath. Like, we all just need, the whole world just needs to collectively, like, you know, just take a breath.
Yeah.
Give yourself some time to integrate. And, you know, I feel it really sharply, particularly working in the city. You know, there's not a lot of time.
Yeah.
Not a lot of time given.
Yeah.
And the other thing, the little bugbear of mine from retreats, and less so retreats, more so these kind of one night circle things that you go to, is the integration process isn't held, and it's not given a lot of support. Or you are not given a framework or a container to help manage the integration. It's been my experience. What do you?
Yeah. I think the importance of integration, that the ceremony, that the healing, that whatever's happening there is just one part. It's kind of, it's the start of something, and what happens afterwards is that bedding down, and is probably where a whole lot of stuff is going to get thrown up. And when you're having to kind of be with that and go through that in your day-to-day life, like back in the real world, it adds a layer of complexity. It is that that dance of what you've come out. You know, you've gone into this retreat, whatever it is, that experience. Yeah, because it isn't even necessarily a retreat, because I've just been away for over a week. It's not been a retreat, let me tell you that much. It's not been a retreat. But I know as well, this is some integration time. I guess, the hard part was before, and it is integration time now, and this is as important, or even more important. This is where so many little lessons can come through, where the embodiment of it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's what I love about Sitting with Sisters and your Facebook group. And what was your event called the other day? Welcoming Sisters Home. You know, I think we need our sisters for this integration time. You know, the holding. We love a chat, don't we, ladies? Don't we, sisters?
We love a chat.
And we need that.
Yeah.
Like, introverted or extroverted processor. I'm an extroverted processor, so I absolutely need to talk through what's happened to make sense. So, for example, I was sharing with Megan earlier another Peru. Shut up about Peru. You and your bloody trip to Peru. Anyway, I was sharing another moment. Now I've completely forgotten what I was going to say. It was fantastic as well.
Your trip to Peru.
Yeah. The integration, sitting with sisters. Oh, the extroverted processing.
Yeah.
That was it. I didn't realise until I started to talk through my experience over there, and, you know, some of the intangible experiences that you get, particularly with taking medicine. I had to talk it through, and only through the talking through it did it begin to make sense for me. And that's when I needed my sisters, and that's when I needed my community.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we with our inherent womb wisdom need to use that womb to hold our sisters and use that energy to hold our sisters for integration more and more.
Yeah.
To take the breath.
Yeah. The integration of, I guess my thing that I keep going back to, of course, is my experience of Kai passing away, and you know, there's that trauma, and there is an integration process of what's just happened in my life, and having my community, having my women by me, through different steps in that, like coming back yesterday and being able to talk to you and being able to talk to Yvonne and being able to talk to other sisters today as well, to help kind of sift through what's actually happened here and what's landing, and what pieces stay here and what do I need to let go in this, and who am I on the other side of this as well.
And it's an emergent creative process, integration. We don't know what we're going to be on the other side. All the more reason for trust. All the more reason to be with sisters and community that you trust. While you don't know and you don't have the answer, to have people around you that do know you, that do see you, that can hold your essence for you when you might not be holding your essence very well.
Essence is all over the shop.
You know, it's just, it's vital. Even if they're holding the old you or something, they're still anchoring you and holding you through the process. And, you know, the safety and the space to be able to do that is so valuable. And I don't think we always give it the time and the space that it requires.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that's part of this. Hang on. Blessed be sisters.
Hello.
I'm just looking. Rebecca,
Thank
God for my sisters. And Yvonne's loving the tips on the audiobooks.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, but it's I think that being able to have that safe space with other women and be held wherever we are, like whether it's in the joy or in a messy process and things like any of those things, those women that you can trust. And you know, we were joking a bit before about the universe being, oh, what's your lesson here? Trust. Oh, really?
Yeah, what a surprise. Let me guess. I've got to let go of control and trust that you've got some plan that's better than mine.
Better plan than mine? I don't even get it. But I guess that when it becomes easier to trust, when you have that holding of sisters that you can trust, you know, and that seeing as well, like receiving that trust. So other women trusting you enables you to trust more, and you know, just that bigger holding for those lessons as they come, to trust and let go. It's so important.
So thank you for the work that you do creating this beautiful community of sisters. I know that part of it was born out of your need for it, but you know, you've created a really strong container, and I for sure love being part of your Facebook group and watching these videos. So thank you for your bit. See, we get to hug in real life.
that is the goods of being in the same room. Really.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What?
Oh, I love it.
What?
She's like Michael. She's like the female Michael Parkinson. You wouldn't know that,
Yeah.
would you? It's an English thing.
No, I love Michael Parkinson.
Oh, you know Parkinson?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
The
kind of
spiritual.
it's like no pressure.
I love you.
Okay, so
Yes,
integration. But actually, you had a quote.
I did.
A quote. Can you share
Oh,
that quote?
it's so
Actually,
good.
it is so good.
Lovely Asaro people, Asaro, the Asaro people from Indonesia and Papua New Guinea have a beautiful saying. They're talking about, and I actually wanted to mention this, they're talking about the creative process, creativity and integration. And we are born makers, and creativity is the ultimate act of integration. It's how we fold our experiences into our being. And their quote is, "Knowledge is only a rumour until it lives in the muscle." Knowledge is only a rumour until it lives in the muscles. Oh my God. Let's all move and live with the Asari tribe. But it's I just kind of like, just need to sit with that quote for a minute. I mean, can I say it again?
Yeah. Please
Okay.
say it again.
Knowledge is only a rumour until it lives in the muscle.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel that.
And that's the integration, right?
Yeah.
That's the integration.
Yeah.
Then when it lives in your muscle.
Yeah.
And there was something you were talking about, your partner Peter doing the basket weaving, and I was kind of thinking about this tribe and their ideas around the creative process, creativity, and how it's so important in playing a role in integration. And anyone that's done art therapy would be more than familiar with the power of creativity and art. But basket weaving, I can imagine back in the day, the sisters, how lovely would it be if you had something that you were trying to integrate, to just sit with your sisters and sit with that unknown and sit with that thing that you're wrestling with and weave a bloody basket. Like, I just,
Yeah.
making it, emerging.
Yeah.
Not having I'm going to make this model A type 1, 2, 3 basket, but just the evolutionary basket.
Yeah. And that, the creation of whatever that is. And I know that with the group that we had the other week and talking to one of the sisters that came along like a day or two after, and just sort of saying, because there was lots floating around, and just like do some colouring in, do some drawing, and kind of allow that to help process. Not trying to think it through and figure it all out. Allow it to kind of process. It is a meditative sort of thing, but there's that transformation that can happen through the creative, and there's also putting something out, like bringing things outside of ourselves to be able to look at. Like, it's not necessarily laying down exactly everything that you're seeing, but that process of seeing something come out can actually tell even more of the story and help it. That the physical action as well starts to have it.
The muscle.
Yeah.
In the muscle. So, which of our sisters knows how to basket weave? It's a must. We need it.
Well, we've got a brother that does now.
That's true.
Heading back.
Come on, bring your basket weaving.
He's well into his basket weaving,
but,
so...
you know, I know that the traditional Aboriginal practice is to go and out bush and weave for the women when there's something happening, you know, something brewing, something going on. And whether it's weaving or, you know, whatever the creative endeavour is, again, you know, I'm increasingly craving space with women, with community, to do those types of things, to have that type of space, to take the breath and have the holding. Yeah, just so important to take the breath, to have the time, give it the space. Those intense sessions, those big things that happen can, I guess like I was talking about before, like things can, you have that big event, whatever that big experience, and it kind of has all this stuff floating around, and if we don't actually take the time to integrate it properly, then there's still things floating around. There is that fragmentation remains. We don't have that becoming whole. Possibly with that fragmentation as well, we carry things that don't need to be there and don't necessarily embody the things that are really that we want. And they're us.
Yeah,
completely. It's so important. And I as I was sitting and thinking about my experience of integration, and I'm still in the big process of it, it's kind of thinking where I've seen it and experienced it. What are the things that come to me around integration? And it really starts at the, you know, almost before, which is that sense of discomfort, that there's something that isn't sitting right in me, that kind of next thing that's bubbling up from my unconscious that's not yet known. Shut the door! Now. It's coming up! Oh God, you know, it's getting easier. There's almost a sort of joyful glee now. It's like, oh, what's next? But then sometimes I'm just not in the mood. So there's that sort of sense.
Not right now, thanks.
No.
We won't be going there.
It's divine timing. It's all happening. Trust. Let go of control. So there's that sense of discomfort, right? Something's brewing, something's coming, and then there's this sort of realization, which generally occurs on the retreat or the, you know, breathwork session or the, you know, whatever you're doing, the experience that you're having, this realization where the issue rises up into the conscious, and you can name it and you can say what it is. It can be identified, that you know what the theme is or what the phenomenon is or what the issue is. And then you have this kind of like negotiation and acceptance.
I like that. Negotiation and acceptance.
And this is not a mock, this is just something like that came into my brain, right?
Yeah.
So it, you know, don't be like listening too much to it, but this is my experience. This, I call it the kind of negotiation and acceptance, where you start looking at the thing that you can now name from lots of different angles, and you're kind of checking it out, giving it a bit of like that, you know, and seeing what it really is, and getting to know it, and slowly getting to see where it might fit in the ball.
Yeah.
Where is it when the ball, the circular kind of jigsaw, where's your little bit? Where do you go? Where's your home? And then you have this phase of I was trying to think of the word, the only word I could come up with was traction. Where you then start to live with that new thing and experience that new thing and integrate it into a process of being and living. And that's the bloody work.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion. Not so humble opinion. That's the work. The discomfort, the realisation, the negotiation and acceptance is all very well and good, but unless you can ground it and get traction with it and begin to live with it, then what's the point? You know, you see a lot of people that are really, you know, transcending dimensions and all this stuff, you know, like, guys, bring it back to earth, please, because you're having some amazing experiences, you people up there with the angels and the whoever, you know, light beings. You're having some amazing experiences and getting some amazing knowledge. Can you please bring it back to earth for people like me who I can't get up there? That's not my realm. I want you to come and bring it to me and live it for me and tell me, explain it and talk it to me. Get some traction with it. And that's another aspect of integration to me is, you know, in the shamanic practice, we're all about one foot in that realm and one foot in this realm. Sometimes I don't want to have a foot in this realm, however, you know, there's no point in going on your amazing shamanic journey or having your amazing ceremony or doing whatever work it is that you're doing, unless you can bring it back here and make it you know, have traction in your life. And that's also the really tricky bit. Like, how do I take this amazing experience I had in Peru, this new part of myself that I discovered, this shedding, that deep shedding, this experience of realms that I'd never dreamt, I didn't even believe were real. You know, how the bloody hell do I come back and work in the city and be with that stuff? You know, that's the work, that's the difficulty, and that's what our planet, our universe, our world needs right now.
Yeah.
Is living it in this world.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a bit of a soapbox, wasn't it?
Well, no, it was great. But Veronica Clark runs crystal weaving workshops out of Byron. Let me know if you, any of the sisters watching are interested, and I'll connect you. Ooh, thanks. Crystal weaving. I'm very interested. I don't know what that is.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I think we need to have a little one with Rebecca as well.
Yeah.
She knows everyone.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Literally everyone.
Awesome. Rebecca will be in contact.
Yes, please, for the crystal weaving.
Yes.
Can we hire a bus?
The sistership. Woo!
Yeah. Who doesn't want to take a trip to Byron and do some crystal weaving?
Anyway, back to what we were talking about. What I was like, what came to me when you were talking about all of that was that, and I've talked about it with numerous people, especially lately, like the monk that goes into the cave and meditates for years and all of that sort of stuff, and, you know, achieves enlightenment. And like you were saying, bring it back. And the real work starts in bringing it here and in living it in this world, in being with others. In that, like what does this look like, and how, because that concept of whatever it is that you've received in whatever experience that is, the concept is one thing, but then the embodiment and the living of that, and how you are, like what shape is that? What shape am I when I'm living that in the world? What does that look like? And and I think as well, I'm seeing people that are on this like constant, like they having to go to retreats or go to ceremonies like all the time, to be able to kind of keep in that place. And I think it's, you know, having those regular things, having those anchors and those points to go to are really important. But when it starts to become the only way, and that's actually your only processing, you're not working and finding the importance of that integration process and giving it that time and that breath, I think that can keep us, and it again keeps those experiences separate. It keeps us living two lives, really.
And I that really resonates with me, and I know I've been the person that has tried to keep those two parts of my life separate, the spiritual part and the I work in the city part, and inevitably that didn't work and came crashing down, which is great because now I can just be myself, and that's much better. But you know, there is a desire, and you know, working in the city and living in the system. You know, we all like to bash the system, but I live in it and work in it. That system is not going anywhere anytime soon. So we have to be also integrating this wisdom into how the system operates to evolve the system, and you know, that's another aspect of integration, is we can integrate on the micro level. We also got to think about the integration on the macro level, but of course you can't integrate on the macro level unless you know the experience of and the importance of how to integrate on the individual level. But you know, you've got to bring this stuff in.
It's so important.
I'm trying.
And you're doing an amazing job. And it's not easy. And I think that integration, and part of that, I guess what we're looking to integrate is more of that feminine. Like been, the world is so in that masculine, and so integrating that feminine energy, that creativity, and that intuition and the nurturing,
the creative, emergent. Like, no, we don't have to have a plan. That came as a big surprise to me a few years ago. Still haven't quite got to grips with it. But you see it in the system world in which I operate, in the corporate world. You know, we used to have project management, which had gates and steps and things, and you know, you followed waterfall. It was actually called waterfall because you just followed a series of steps. Now we've got this beautiful thing called agile project management, which is emergent and flows and prototypes and follows the creative design thinking processes. So the system is learning and the system is changing on simple levels. But you know, it's the feminine. There's no stopping us now.
Yeah.
Ain't no stopping us now. We're in the groove. It's coming. It's happening. There's, you know, but it's just, you know, it requires people showing up in their integrity, in their integrated selves. But yeah, we have to integrate in the individual so that we can understand the process and bring it to the macro.
Yeah. Let's do it. Oh, Gabriella.
Hi. Oh, the crows.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure we could keep gas bagging on for hours.
How long have we been gas bagging for?
I don't know.
I'm in charge of the time. Oh, 10 past 8. That goes really quickly.
Time flies when you're having fun, sitting with your sisters. Anything else on integration? Like any other things that... Oh, yeah, I had... Yeah, I guess through my process over the last week as well. Like integration can be like what you're integrating could be from, like an hour in time. It could be a weekend or whatever, or it can be a really large period of time, a lot happening over years, and then, you know, I guess that's when you can sometimes be running through, like, and there's so many things that can happen, and then hit this, whoa, what the hell? What was that? And so, that integration time from what's happened over years, which can be, I guess, disorientating as well. The hitting that, wow, what just happened, and then what's happening now, and understanding and holding that. This is a space of integrating everything that's happened and finding how all those pieces fit and who I am, having experienced all of that. Yeah.
I can totally understand how that would be. Really imagine how that would be particularly pertinent for you and what you've been through recently, and how it relates to what you've been through in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's almost like every once in a while you get these moments. They're a big piece, either falls away or falls into place. I like thinking of it like I don't like thinking about the icebergs breaking, but you know, you see those big, well, let's say big bits of rock falling down into the ocean. It's like, finally a big bit drops away, or a big bit lands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be out of nowhere. Sometimes it can be a really relieving and pleasant experience, and other times it can be like, what the hell? Yeah.
So right.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can we do this every week?
Well,
it's like, no. You can't.
I would love to. Look out, I'll be knocking on your door every week. But we will be doing this again next week, and we will have lovely sister Lyra Lestrange. She's going to be joining us, and we're going to be talking about emotions, children's emotions, and being with children's emotions. She is, this
Lyra, I'm tuning in for that one.
Yeah, it's she does beautiful work that I've been following for some time, but also had friends that have had some pretty major changes in their relationships with their children, and I love the way she's looking at all of this. So we'll be here next week.
15 years ago.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for joining us, and if you're feeling called to come and sit with me, please get in contact. I would love to have you, and your sisters would love to hear you and have you take up your space and share your voice and your light. Thank you, Millie.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Lovely.